Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, well, let's give me a quick access to that.
Excellent. And, yeah, I'll leave that.
He's going to deal with the Army of the East with the Army of the West. It's going to be good for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 112th Annual Cadet Inspection of the number 142 St. Andrews College Highland Cadet Corps. My name is David Stewart, and I'm your MC for today's inspection. The skirl of the pipes and the beat of the drums have long been the trademark sound of our Highland Cadet Corps. Over 75 cadets are currently participating in the piping and drumming program, where interested players can begin learning the instruments as young as grade 5 through our middle school arts program. Once in upper school, pipers and drummers can study their instruments in regular music class and audition to be part of our senior pipes and drums. In addition to the school pipe band, some members are involved in civilian competition bands during the summer and attend solo competitions throughout the world. The band's leadership consists of Pipe Major Luca Zadra, Drum Major Oliver Harris, and lead drummer William Shields. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the number 142 St. Andrews College Highland Cadet Corps, Pipes and Drums.
Right on.
welcome to the quad, the number 142 Highland Dance Corps.
Bags of guns, reform, to the top. Quick, march!
Discipline and teamwork can be accomplished not only on the parade square, but also in the band hall. The Wind Ensemble has performed throughout the year and most recently appeared in the Canadian Independent School Music Festival at Roy Thompson Hall. Earlier this year, the ensemble won triple gold again at the York Regional Music Fest. Please welcome our music director, Ms. Sandy Chasen, our director of Junior Cadet Band, Mr. John Richardson, director of the Symphonic Band, Mr. Gary Page, along with the musicians of St. Andrews College.
Allegiant paraded for a
Highland Ensemble will now be joined by the Highland Drill Team, who will put together a display of drill maneuvers, especially for today's parade. Leading the drill team is Cadet Master Corporal Ben Van Eden.
Mr. B! Please look on! The drill team!
officer, was born and raised in southern Ontario. Colonel Wright enrolled in the Canadian Armed Forces in 1990 and joined Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry in 1994. He spent 11 years with the 2nd Battalion in Winnipeg and Shiloh, Manitoba, commanding at the platoon, company, and battalion level. He also served 3 years with the 2nd Battalion of the Royal 22nd Regiment. He has served in Bosnia as a rifle platoon commander and later as a rifle company second in command, and in Afghanistan for the activation of Operation Athena in 2003 and as a rifle company commander in 2006-2007. During a later tour, he was awarded the Medal of Military Valor and the Meritorious Service Medal as officer commanding A Company, serving with the 1st Battalion, the Royal Canadian Regiment Battle Group in Kandahar Province in 2006-07. Domestically, he deployed on Operation Podium in support of the 2010 Winter Olympics and served in staff and command positions during the 2011 Assiniboine River floods in Manitoba. This summer, he will take command of No. 2 Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group in Petawawa, Ontario. Colonel Wright has served in staff positions as the J3 of the Canadian Joint Operations Command, Executive Assistant to the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Staff, and G3 of 1st Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group, as well as positions at the Canadian Army Headquarters and the Canadian Forces Joint Headquarters. He holds an honors degree in history and political science and a master's degree of defense studies at the Royal Military College and is a recent graduate of the National Security Program. He lives in Ottawa with his wife Hillary and sons Henry and Jonas. The Corps has formed up behind the residences under the command of Drill Sergeant Major Warrant Officer Greg Kuchenko. Here the final inspection of uniforms is being carried out prior to marching onto the parade square. Across the parade square, you will see the cadet officers following the infantry officers' tradition of promenading while the Cadet Corps prepares to fall in. Members of the Corps wear the distinctive scarlet tunics of our affiliated unit, the 48th Highlanders of Canada, and the kilts of the modern Gordon Tartan, indicating our ties to our allied unit, the Gordon Highlanders in Scotland. In 2004, the Gordon Highlanders amalgamated with the Camerons, Seaforths, King's Own Scottish Borderers, the Royal Scots, and the Black Watch to form the Royal Regiment of Scotland. Vincent Massey, Canada's first native-born Governor-General, was one of the first cadet officers of the Corps when it was founded in 1905. If you look down the square, you will see Chief Warrant Officer Vasily Lefkowski, the Regimental Sergeant Major, or RSM for short. He has come down the pathway accompanied by the Corps Bugler, the company markers, and the standard bearers. Our bugler this year is William Dale. The Regimental Sergeant Major has called for the company markers, and once the markers are properly situated, the bugler will sound the warning, and the battalion will march onto the parade square, taking up position on the appropriate company marker. There are 7 companies on parade today. 4 companies are comprised of boarding students, and 2 are comprised of students in the day boy houses. Our 7th company is Training Company, which is comprised of students in grade 8. In your program, you will find listed the officers and company sergeants major for each company and platoon. As the parade forms up on the east side of the field, Smith Laidlaw Company will be on your left. They earned this position of honor by winning the Brian Armstrong Trophy for Best Company in 2016. Regimental Sergeant Major will now call for the open order march to prepare for the upcoming inspection. The RSM will dress the battalion and then call for each company sergeant major to report his company, the number of those present and absent, and then stands the parade at ease. The Regimental Sergeant Major has called the parade to attention as the adjutant approaches. The adjutant this year is Cadet Major Douglas Chen Young. At this point, the RSM will turn the parade over to the adjutant and march to his position on the right flank of the battalion. The Deputy Cadet Commanding Officer, or DSO, will now march out and take over the parade from the adjutant, who will provide a report of the parade state to the DCO. This year's Deputy Commanding Officer is Cadet Major Grant Hickey. Deputy Commanding Officer is now preparing for the arrival of the officers. The officers are currently under the command of Cadet Major Connor Woodruff and include the company and platoon commanders. The cadet officers are carrying swords donated in 1998 by Major John Stewart of the class of 78 and engraved with the names of the 153 St. Andrews Old Boys who died in World War I and World War II. In 2013, Major Stewart donated a new set of Canadian Forces drill canes for the company sergeants major. These drill canes were presented to honor the senior NCOs of the Cadet Corps. The Deputy Commanding Officer will now order the bugler to sound the officer's call.
Bugler! Sound the officer's call! Officers! And one turn! Officers! Fall in!
We start 4 weeks prior to the parade date. We start this first week is just officers and senior NCOs. So they do 3 practices in the first week. Second week, senior NCOs and officers plus all the first year cadets. We do 3 practices with that group. And then the last 2 weeks, the whole group, starting at platoon level, or company level, and then another team. So 6 practices for the whole group. Fortunately, it's school goes to the arena. Campus, and we did that. It's beautiful. So we do it in 2 large gardens. Swimming pool up there and swim practices. Just fortunate because the headmaster's parade was Tuesday and we did get rain, so we had the parade. It's very fortunate. Prior to the arena being built here, we used to truck everybody. It's a massive bus movement over to the arena just down the road in Aurora.
Parade! Attention!
The DCO will now call upon the Cadet Commanding Officer to take over the parade. The Cadet Commanding Officer this year is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Nolan Roy. will now call for the flag party to march on. The flag party is under the command of Cadet Lieutenant Brandon St. Pierre. There are two flags in the flag party. The special white Corps flag was donated to the Corps by the Hauser family in honor of Harry B. Hauser, class of 1903. The Leanfeld rifles used by the flag party were donated by Lieutenant Colonel Len Wines on behalf of the Royal Canadian Legion. The flags are marched across the front of the entire battalion so that each cadet will be able to see and recognize them and then moves to its position in the center of the battalion line. Please stand for the march on of the flag party.
General salute, preset, arms! Parade, slope, arms!
Please be seated. The Cadet Commanding Officer will now approach our reviewing officer and invite our reviewing party to inspect the cadets of the Corps. This year, the reviewing party consists of the reviewing officer, Colonel Wright, Major Brian McHugh, Commanding Officer of the No. 142 Highland Cadet Corps, Lieutenant Colonel Harry Pedwell, Commanding Officer, the 48th Highlanders of Canada, Chief Warrant Officer Derek Murphy, Regimental Sergeant Major, the 48th Highlanders of Canada, Mr. Kevin McHenry, Headmaster of St. Andrews College, and Mr. Dan Stock, Chairman of the Board of Governors of St. Andrews College. inspection of the Corps completed, the Cadet Commanding Officer will now ask for permission to do a march past. Please rise for the march past. In command of 2nd Company, Captain Charlie Elliott. In command of Memorial Company, Captain Ben Schmidt. In command of Flanell Company, Captain Staffy Duramacos. In command of Perry Ramsey Company, Captain Alan Smirsky. McDonald Platoon, Lieutenant Drew Morris. Captain Nikita Reshetnikov. At this time, I would like to introduce the commanding officer of the number 142 St. Andrews College Highland Cadet Corps, Major Brian McHugh. Please be seated.
Great. Stand at ease. Highlanders, stand easy.
Colonel Wright, the Honorable Kyle Peterson, Lieutenant Colonel Pedwell, Headmaster McHenry, Chairman Sifton, invited guests, friends, and cadets. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the culmination of another very successful cadet training year. The annual cadet inspection provides an opportunity for us to recognize outstanding achievements by individuals and groups. Most importantly, it is the graduation parade for our senior cadets, some of whom have been with the Corps for as long as 7 years. An Army Cadet Corps of this size requires tremendous help from our own dedicated faculty and CIC Reserve officers. I'd like to begin today by thanking my team of dedicated officers, civilian instructors, and volunteers for their tireless effort. Our Cadet Detachment Headquarters provides tremendous support to our annual field training exercises and throughout the year with equipment and guidance. I would also like to recognize the support provided by our affiliated unit, the 48th Highlanders of Canada. Today, we are honored to have with us the commanding officer of the regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Harry Pedwell, the deputy commanding officer, Major Alcama, and Pipe Major Ian Lang. Thank you to all friends and supporters of 142 St. Andrews College Highland Cadet Corps. Finally, I would like to welcome home all the old boys here today. It is truly wonderful to see our former cadets come back to see the new guard in action. So I would ask, for the sake of the cadets on parade, if you're an old boy and a former cadet of the Corps, please give us a big wave. It's fantastic. This year, we have had a very strong group of leaders and cadets. I would like to take this time to recognize some of the outstanding achievements, beginning with the best middle school cadet. The trophy for the best middle school cadet is presented by the 48th Highlander chapter of the Imperial Order of the Daughters of the Empire. The IODE's charitable work has been valued by the regiment and the cadets for more than 70 years, and they have been strong supporters of the St. Andrews College Cadet Corps in many ways. Most recently, the 48th Highlanders chapter sponsored an important award for the best middle school cadet. I would like to ask the region of the 48th Highlanders chapter, Ms. Beth Crook, to present this trophy. The Best Middle School Cadet Award is presented to a first-year cadet who has demonstrated tremendous effort and teamwork during his Green Star training, and he was a keen member of our competition marksmanship team. This year's recipient of the Best Middle School Cadet is Highlander Christopher Childerhouse. The J.L. Wright Trophy is presented to the best upper school cadet. This year's winner has been a leading member of his Silver Star training team during the fall and winter. This spring, he demonstrated great initiative and leadership as the drill team commander. These accomplishments require hours and hours of commitment beyond the regular cadet duties. I would like to invite the chairman of our Board of Governors, Mr. Dan Stock, to present the trophy. The winner of the J.L. Wright Trophy for the best upper school cadet, Master Corporal Ben Van Eden. The 48th Highlanders of Canada Trophy for the best pipe band cadet was inaugurated in 2010 by Honorary Colonel John Newman in memory of his father, Major Maitland Fuller Newman. Major Newman attended St. Andrews College from 1904 to 1908. He joined the 15th Battalion, 48th Highlanders of Canada, and served with the Canadian Expeditionary Force from 1914 to 1918. Despite being wounded at Vimy Ridge, he returned to serve with the 2nd Battalion, 48th Highlanders of Canada, from 1940 to 1945. The trophy is awarded to the best pipe band cadet, a young man that excels in musical ability, drill, dress, and personal deportment, and has proven to be a role model to his fellow bandsmen. I would like to ask Lieutenant Colonel Pedwell to present the 48th Highlanders of Canada trophy to this year's winner, Warrant Officer Sean Lindsay. Gord Marshall Leadership Award was established in 2010 and is presented to the graduating staff cadet who has demonstrated outstanding leadership for the cadets under his command. This award is in memory of Gordon Marshall, class of 1984, cadet captain in his graduating year and best middle school cadet in 1978. A loyal supporter of cadets at SAC, Gord graduated from Royal Roads Military College in 1989. The award will be supported in perpetuity by an endowed fund which was established by Gordon's family and friends at the time of his death in December 2009. The trophy is accompanied by a special keeper prize for the recipient called a quake. The Scottish quake is a special kind of shallow, two-handled drinking cup and is often presented for ceremonial prizes and awards. This quake has been specially inscribed with the SAC crest to remind the recipient of his accomplishments in leadership with the 142 St. Andrews College Highland Cadet Corps. In attendance today are Gord's parents, Tarm and Margaret Marshall. Mrs. Marshall is a former SAC Ladies Guild president. We also welcome Gord's brother, Ken Marshall, class of 81, his wife, Sana, and son, Tyler. I would like to invite Ken Marshall to present the Gord Marshall Leadership Award. Ken was a student at St. Andrews College for 7 years. During this time, he participated in first hockey, first soccer, and first cricket, representing SAC in 245 games in the Independent School Athletic Association. In 1981, the school athletic letter was awarded for 70 accumulated points. Ken had approximately 160, which, if not the highest, is one of the largest total ever achieved. This year, we have had an exemplary group of staff cadet leaders. Many of our young men are worthy of recognition for their outstanding leadership this year. The winner of the Gord Marshall Leadership Award is presented to a young man that has given his full attention to leading both his subordinates and his peers throughout the training program and ceremonial duties. He has been an exemplary role model to his cadets during the first and second term as a staff cadet instructor in the Green Star training course. His true leadership skills were shown earlier this month when he unexpectedly had to step into the role of drill sergeant major for our annual church parade and the headmaster's inspection. He performed admirably under pressure and carried out this role with confidence and professionalism. This year's Gord Marshall Leadership Award is presented to Company Sergeant Major Tarun Sethi. The Duke of Edinburgh's Award is the most prestigious international youth achievement award. Created in 1963 by Prince Philip, it promotes achievements in 4 component areas: physical fitness, community service, skill development, and expeditions. Today we would like to recognize 2 recipients of the Duke of Edinburgh's Award. I would like to invite Lieutenant Colonel Alan Best, class of 92, currently serving with 1st Canadian Division, to present the Duke of Edinburgh's Award. In addition to completing the fitness, community service, and skill components, both these individuals traveled last summer with the SAC program, taking part in exciting and demanding international expedition programs. Receiving the Duke of Edinburgh's Gold Award, please come forward, Captain Charlie Elliott and Drum Major Ollie Harris. The Lord Strathcona Medal is the most prestigious medal presented by the Royal Canadian Army Cadet Program. It recognizes outstanding cadets nationally for their commitment to their unit and their excellence in athletics, citizenship, military skills, and leadership. This medal embodies the heart and spirit of one of the finest forefathers of our nation, David Alexander Smith, Lord Strathcona. I would like to ask Captain Phil Lusk, representing our Region Cadet Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Evans, to make the presentation of the Lord Strathcona Medal. This young man has committed himself in every way possible to the success of the Corps in his role as the Cadet Training Officer. In particular, he was the student leader of our Master Cadet Program, which is the highest level of training offered by the Army Cadets nationally. This year, 38 of our senior cadets achieved the Master Cadet certification. Please come forward, receiving the Lord Strathcona Medal, Major Connor Woodruff. The Ellsworth Trophy for the best platoon is presented to the individual platoon that has given their best effort during training during the parade season. I would like to ask our Member of Parliament, the Honourable Kyle Peterson, to present the Ellsworth Trophy to the best platoon for 2017. Receiving the Ellsworth Trophy, please come forward. Platoon Commander Lieutenant Nick Seidel from No. 1 Platoon, Perrier Ramsey Company. Mr. Brian G. Armstrong, class of 1961, was a board member of our Board of Governors from 1976 to 2005, and board chairman from 1996 to 2005. On his retirement from the board, the school dedicated a trophy to the best company in his honor. Throughout the year, all companies have been accumulating points for excellence in drill practices, on parade, and through a variety of other challenges. I'd like to congratulate all the companies for a successful year and for giving your full effort these past few weeks on parade. The winning company this year has demonstrated outstanding morale and esprit de corps. Their company leadership team together has helped raise the bar tenfold in this group's drill, dress, and deportment. The senior leadership was so strong in this company that, for the first time, qualified cadets were attached posted to other companies in the role of company and platoon commanders. I would like to invite our reviewing officer, Colonel Wright, to present the Brian G. Armstrong Trophy to this year's winner, Flavel Company. I would like to invite the entire company leadership team forward this year to accept the trophy. So please come forward, Captain Zuramakos, CSM Lakatripas, Lieutenants Scully and Smeek and Van Kess, and Warrant Officers Andonovsky and Barron. Well done, boys. That concludes our awards, and at this time I would like to invite our reviewing officer, Colonel Wright, to say a few words.
Mr. Peterson, Your Worship Mayor Daw, Headmaster McHenry, Mr. Stock, Commanding Officer, Regimental Sergeant Major, and members of the 48th Highlanders of Canada, cadets of the 142 St. Andrews College Highland Cadet Corps, ladies and gentlemen. First, I'd like to congratulate all of the cadets on parade here today for their outstanding turnout and for an excellent display of military drill. Seeing the scarlet tunics, listening to the pipes and drums and the band took me back in time over 20 years ago to my time as a cadet on parade at the Royal Military College in Kingston. I know how hard you've worked to make this parade such a success. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. And I also know how warm those tunics are, although it's probably a little bit balanced by the fact that the wind is making the kilts maybe a bit cold. But I promise that I'm going to keep my remarks short because I also know that the seniors have their cadet formal this evening. A great deal of time and effort goes into preparing for a parade like this, so credit must go to your college staff, to the cadet instructor cadre, and as we heard, the cadet instructor cadre relies an awful lot on a small army of volunteers for support. So I think that a round of applause is in order for all of those who helped make this such an outstanding day. There's one final group that needs to be recognized, and I want to make sure that everyone is watching the crowd for this, and also I know this is being taped for or broadcast for families who couldn't be here today. Because the final group I want to thank are the families who have provided the inspiration, the encouragement, and the support for their cadets. So I'd ask the Cadet Corps to join me in thanking your families. When I had the honor of being asked to come and review today's parade, I did some research into the history of this Corps. That research turned into a few hours of reading about the fascinating history of not only the Corps, but the college itself. I don't need to tell anyone here today about the outstanding reputation of the college. But what truly impresses me is how history and tradition are maintained and celebrated through the continuation of the Cadet Corps, and what an integral part of college life it is. To me, it's inspiring to see. For the cadets, the life skills that you're developing through the cadet program, confidence, self-discipline, how to lead and how to follow, how to be part of a team, physical fitness and mental resiliency, time management, balancing commitments. Those are important lessons that you'll use for the rest of your life, no matter what career path you take. This is a program that helps you discover your limitations, but then also helps you learn how to overcome them. But I think the most important attributes which the cadet program develops are service, citizenship, and leadership. The Canadian Armed Forces may not be your future employer, but I know that because of your experience, there's an excellent chance that you'll be a strong supporter of Canada's military in the future. You have a better appreciation of how lucky we are to enjoy our way of life in Canada and what sacrifices have been made by our earlier generations to create this great country. We saw a great example earlier this month when thousands of Canadians traveled to France to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Vimy Ridge. Also know that you're not only excellent ambassadors for St. Andrews College, you're great ambassadors for the Canadian Armed Forces. Canadians in general, and those around the GTA in particular, don't often get to see its soldiers, sailors, and aviators at work, except for the occasional story from one of our many missions abroad, or when we take part in domestic operations here in Canada like search and rescue, or helping to fight natural disasters such as floods, fires, or snow in Toronto. Programs like this and our reserve units across the country, units like the 48th Highlanders, are so very important because they put a name and a face to our institution in areas that don't have much of a regular force presence. So for me, thank you for representing our uniform so very well. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise to be short, although it's not nearly as warm as it was on Thursday. Again, it is pretty warm in those scarlet tunics. So once again, I'll congratulate the cadets on a job very well done and express my thanks to everyone for putting together such a wonderful day. Thank you.
Colonel Wright, thank you very much for attending our parade today as our reviewing officer. On behalf of the officers, NCOs, and cadets, please accept this gift as a small token of our appreciation.
Today marks a special day as we graduate our Cadet Commanding Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Nolan Roy, and welcome a new Cadet Commanding Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Jamieson. I would like to call upon Lieutenant Colonel Harry Pedwell, Commanding Officer of our affiliated unit, the 48th Highlanders of Canada, as well as Major Brian McHugh, the Commanding Officer of the No. 142 St. Andrews College Highland Cadet Corps, to come forward to officiate the official change of command. Lieutenant Colonel Roy and Lieutenant Colonel Jamieson, please come forward. In proper military tradition, the battalion will conduct a second march past in honor of the outgoing commanding officer. Following the march past, Lieutenant Colonel Roy will parade past the entire battalion for his final time.
It's just him. Final. You march across the front edge. Out the door. If we have anyone next to him, that's enough. He's gonna go out through the gate. There's no one there. Yeah. Okay, if you can sort of find him over there. 20 minutes of practice. Think of it under pressure. Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise for the second march past.
In succession, 5 platoons. Hey! Right! 1 platoon. Hey! Right! 2 platoon. Hey! Here is company. It's just 5 platoons. Hey! Right!
As Lieutenant Colonel Roy starts his final march out, ladies and gentlemen, please join in a round of applause as the outgoing colonel bids farewell to his Highlanders. We ask that you please remain standing for the advance and general salute and for the departure of the reviewing party and the anthems.
Parade will advance in review order. By the center. Quick march! Highlanders, general salute, present, arms! Parade, slow, arms!
Let's take through the arches.
Bandmaster, the anthem, parade, present, arms! Parade, slow, arms!
The cadet commanding officer will now order the flag party to march off and for the officers to fall out.
Bugler! Down march off the flag! Mr. Tessier!
Sir!
March off the flag! To the flag!
Flag party!
Present,
By the right!
arms!
Quick! March!
Please be seated. With the officers falling out, the parade will be turned over to the Regimental Sergeant Major, who will march the Corps off parade. The traditional return to barracks march, the Black Bear, will be played with the young men cheering in celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our 112th Annual Cadet Inspection. On behalf of the cadets and staff, thank you for being part of this year's parade. Please join us in the Staunton Gallery for refreshments. Thank you, Godspeed, and have a safe journey home.